How's everybody doing today? Welcome to Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, day by day. Thanks so much for making space. We know you have a lot of other things you could be doing. Grateful that you stopped by. Hope you're doing good. Today I have a question. Does anybody know of any games that, and I noticed this in Sorcery Arena also, but do any of you have any idea, is there a game where they clean out their PvP rankings? What do I mean by that? A friend of mine, commenter, posted, said, hey man, he just said, hey man, I feel you, complaining about people having GLs in Carbonite. The game has changed. And I was wondering, and I'm like, we have that same thing in Sorcerer's Arena, and I'm wondering, do any of you know of a game, or maybe it's multiple games, that keeps their PvP cleaned out? Because it seems like at some point we're all gonna, at some point when we all have like 3 or 4 or 5 legendaries, or I don't know, all 9 or 10, that people are gonna start losing out and coming up, because unless you're opening said whatever day 1, there's probably at least a little bit of an issue there, right? In terms of getting wiped out, or being in danger of moving out of your spot. If somebody just puts together a good run, or a good thing, or a good team, or whatever, you could theoretically jump up and knock them out, or say they have an issue where they can't log in for a week, and there's some event going on, and you take advantage, and you're able to take advantage of the event, and they're not, and that gives you the boost over them, to where you're able to, I don't know where some of you guys, maybe you're in a Rhodium or a Carbonite, and you're just looking for that one small piece of advantage that you need to be able to jump to the next level. But what I'm wondering, is there a game out there that you're aware of who keeps their PvP track, whether it's GAC or whatever it is, cleaned out, to where we don't have this power creep, and or maybe there is, but they keep expanding the realms, they keep expanding the ladders, because because I'm actually unaware of how Carbonite actually works. Is GAC all one giant leaderboard throughout the entire world, or is it different servers, whereas maybe the Kyber that Arnold's in is not the same Carbonite, is not the same Kyber that Nooch is in, and Nooch is not in the same Carbonite that Gerbil's in, or is it all the same? Is it all the same? Is it all, and I'm wondering, what's the number of people in a given ladder? Is it, and by ladder I mean, I'm guessing if there are different servers, then there's only a certain number of people in Carbonite, there's only a certain number of people in a Rhodium and Bronzium, or whatever the ranks are, Carbonite. And what is that number? What is the limit? What is the shutoff when what's the number? What's the limit? What's the shut off? When does it change over to something different, I guess, is what I'm asking. And how do we know when that happens? But when I have questions. I'm obviously very interested in both because I want to know, because I think it's important. But basically, what I really want to know is do we have a game out there that keeps their PvP leaderboard cleaned up to where we're not all running into $7 million teams with 2 or 3 GLs? I mean, relatively speaking, is there? I just want to know. Is it raid? Is it? I don't know. I don't even know. But to me, that seems like something that would be worth looking into, and definitely worth investigating, if there is indeed something out there that you can be like, you know what? This game doesn't have that thing that you were worried about. Because it seems to me, if that didn't exist, then maybe things would change, and maybe people would go elsewhere. I'm just asking because I want to know, because I'm a curious guy. But aside from that, watched episode, was it 8? What number? I don't even know. 8 or 9, maybe, I don't even know. It's the one with Phoenix Sean, where Wrecker and where Hunter and Wrecker go to the space station, and they find Phoenix Sean because they're trying to find out about ink count. Thought that was a really good episode. Really am interested to know who she was talking about to on the holo. And to my mind, it could be Asajj. Like, the only person could be Asajj, right? And I think that's just very interesting. And then I'd watched a little bit of the new X-Men, which I thought the first episode was great. I thought the second episode was like, okay. I was not highly impressed by the second episode, but whatever. I mean, so to me, that's pretty much a dead letter for me, just because of what I don't know, just something I don't think is going to be for me long term. Just gave me, I don't watch stuff like that to be whatever it was trying to do, and But what am I trying to do? I'm still trying to build up. You've seen me farming Heoroes here. That's because we're trying to get the ball down the field. We're trying to improve our roster a little bit. Like I said yesterday, we're every piece of gear. Like I just took Logri up to, what is he, 11? It's a little bit closer because how many members of we're done with Sherpa. We're done with Elder. I think we're done with Elder, right? We got all the heals. So we got 2 of the 5 members of this. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, bro, you don't have to take those Ewoks that far. Sure, I gotcha. I feel you. I hear what you're saying. Just know that like I talked about, I'm anticipating, they're gonna eat. We're gonna need Logray for something, and Poplo and whoever else. And so we're just taking them to 12. We're gonna leave them. Obviously we need, what is it, 70, 78 more Nisa shards. It's gonna be really interesting to see who I finish first, Nisa or Wicket. I'm thinking Wicket's probably gonna overtake them. I'm not sure when that's gonna happen, of course, because Nisa has a pretty sizable lead on him at this point. But I think around 50 is probably when Wicket's gonna pass him. Not for sure. But I want to see if we are we in a position where we can put a relic level on Boba today? Get him to a relic, whatever the relic is. I need to keep amassing stuff in general. Until, like I said, every time we farm a piece of signal data, we're getting just a little bit closer. Anyway, I want to let you know, I talked about how we had visitors over the weekend. It was extremely stressful for 4 or 5 or 6 days here. Basically from Friday up until today. Today's Wednesday. It was highly stressful, and the girls left yesterday, and wish we could have kept them, but just it wasn't practical. It wasn't really something that was going to be advantageous for the family. It wasn't going to be something I could do. Being the parent that's here during the day, I need to try to fix this camera. I don't know what's going on with it. More wacky. Apologies for that. I don't know what happened. I moved, and it's I don't know what's going on. So apologies for that. But we're doing good. We're back to the 3 children that we have. The boy, girl, and the baby boy. Happy about that. Hopefully gonna get some rest today. Get some caught up on being physically and emotionally drained and mentally drained. Because it's I don't know how familiar any of you are with foster care, but it's a very rewarding thing but it's also very straining and very hard, and can be very challenging mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and it definitely requires self-care when you get to the other side. And we're gonna hope to find some of that this weekend. Saturday, the wife and I are planning just to get out for a day and just, not hang at home, and just, go to eat and go walk around the mall, maybe go do a little bit of shopping. That's not something we do. Just get out of the house and leave the kids here and just breathe and just, relax. That's what we're trying to do. What I'm trying to do is keep trying to work towards the Executor. I don't know if any of you saw what the prediction video that Nooch did about his predictions for the next packs. And with much of Nooch's stuff, I think it's fair. Obviously the only people that know what CG's going to do in terms of Lightspeed bundles is CG themselves. And, obviously, If I'm still not done with the Executor, whatever Executor pack is going to be very tempting. And here's the thing, guys. I'm halfway tempted to just stop this Executor farm, because it's like, is it me, or is it crazy for me to say, hey, you know, if they're just going to come up with an Executor pack and people can buy their way to Executors, that's just soul crushing. It's not like, because it's not like we're talking about Finalizer, right? We're not talking about Finalizer. We're not talking about Radis, because those are, you know, they're good chips, but they're not, you know, they're not galactic level. They're not galactic legend ships to where you have to commit, you know, because the requirements for the Finalizer are very similar to SLKR or Ray or whoever. And so is the profundity. And for them just to be giving the and for the Radis and the Finalizer, not so much. You don't need so and so at you know, you don't need Basket or like whatever. I mean, you don't need just as much to get Finalizer and to get the Radis, but. And so from that perspective, I don't know that they can give away that, you know? I mean, because they've not given away SLKR or Ray. Yes, you have to buy the pack. Yes, you have to play Zetas. Yes, you may have to add a couple more relic levels. Yes, with Ray, you may have to go on and get BB-8 or whatever, but isn't that kind of a difference between for the Profundity and the Executor? I mean, for those of you who are doing a Executor or a Profundity farm now, if they come out with, because Nooch's prediction, around May the 4th is when we're gonna drop these. What happens if they drop Executor, an Executor bundle? What happens? Isn't that like the biggest slap in the face you've ever experienced? I know for me, it's like this farm for Executor is, you know, I do take a little bit of solace in, okay, you know, we got just this much closer to Executor today. And, you know, if I get to relic somebody up on a day, it's like, okay, well, you know, that actually feels like movement. That's actually movement that you can see. But those errors are few and far between as far as a farm for whoever. But, you know, because we still have, I'm not going to tell you anything we don't know. You don't know in terms of ships. We still need ability for other ships. We still need to finish the farm on the TIE Bomber. I'm really worried about the TIE Bomber right now. What I am worried about is putting 2 more relics on Bosk, putting 3 more relics on Boba, 2 more on Dengar, 7 on Vader, 5 on Cad Bane, and 5 on TIE Fighter Pilot. To me, that could be, it's feeling like it's going to be 4 months, just in terms of what we're not getting and everything. But I'm trying to stay positive. That being said, I don't know that there's anything other to talk about in this particular video. I appreciate it if you're here, if you made space for me. I'm very appreciative of you. I thank you for watching. I thank you for giving me your time. and allowing me to talk and just vent a little bit. I appreciate it. Anyway, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Make sure you hold the line. Until then, bye.